Broken record time. If you see this symbol, pause. If you don't need to pause, go on to the next part of the presentation. The objective. The student will be able to divide decimals. This will be done through presentation and classroom activity. I am the Beuthin robot. Yes, I know this is getting boring, guys. I can guarantee you, if you've been paying attention in class, the first part of this lecture will be really boring because it's going to be review. So we're doing the presentation tomorrow. Classroom activities check for understanding. So first, division of whole numbers. This is why this is a review. But it does have a point to it later while we're redoing it, and I'm going to go through it slow. So like right now, 5,433 divided by 4. If you need more information, there are other presentations, and I'll go through that in a minute. But right there, 5 divided by 4, it can go in at one time. So we take that 1, we put it on top. So 5 divided by 4 will equal 1. So there you go, there's that. So 4 times 1 equals 4. So 5 minus 4 equals 1. We drop down the 4. So we now have 14. Which is going slow. There you go. So let's go find 14 in our multiplication table on the right-hand side. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 is too high, so we're going to use that 12, which is going to be 3. So we put that 3 up top. So now we have 4 times 3, as we already know, is going to equal 12. So 14 minus 12 is going to equal 2. We need to drop down that other 3 because we're not done with it yet. So we drop down that 3 and we have 23. Sorry, presentation's going a little bit slow. It's got to catch up with me. There it goes, 23. So let's find the 23. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Oh, it's going to be between 24 and 20. So between 24 and 20, we use the lower number, which is the 5. Because that's how many times it can go into. So we take that 5, we put it up top. So 4 times 5 is going to equal 20. We know that from where we just grabbed. So 23 minus 20 is going to equal 3. We drop down this last 3. We're almost done. Must stay enthusiastic because we're almost there. So now we have 3, which is 33. We're going to go down our list. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. So it's right there between 36 and 32 is 33. So we take that 8, we throw it up on top, and then we take 4 times 8, which we already know is 32. We put that 32 below the 33. So 33 minus 32 equals 1. This 1 we're still going to use. That's going to be remainder 1. So we take that 1 and we put it up top. Hooray, R1. So this you should already know. If you need more help with this, go back and watch the other videos. I have 2 other videos on division with remainders and division. So this is division of decimals now. So division of decimals is basically just division with remainders or division with a few extra steps. So this is the problem we just did. I'm not really going to, I might go step by step, I think, for a little bit of it, but most of it now, I'm not going step by step anymore. So basically, I'm going to show you, this is the problem, this is how I solved it. Because you guys should already know how to do it from your other lessons. But that little R1 over there, I don't like that R1. That remainder 1 upsets me. Remainders are evil! They are evil. So we will never see a remainder on any other test or any other quiz or assessment from now on. So let's get rid of it. Boom! Sorry, there's my enthusiasm for the lesson. We just blew up that remainder because if you put R1 or R anything on any other test, it's going to be wrong. But that remainder is still there. We have to do something with it. We're just not going to write R1 anymore. So we're going to take that remainder, and we're going to find out we put a decimal there. Well, where did this decimal come from? It's magical. It's a magical decimal. Well, no. How did it get there? How did it get there? Well, what happened to it? Well, I don't know. Magic! Sorry, more enthusiastic. It got there by magic. It just appeared. So, again, it's not magic. Watch the older videos and you'll find out there's always a decimal there. We just don't put it. Okay, so now we have 4 that goes into that decimal point. So that decimal point we have to move back up. So right now, if you notice, we have all those and we have that 0 added onto it. So we're not going to take that decimal, we're just going to move it straight up. Not side to side, just straight up. So after we move it straight up, we're going to now have that decimal that I placed over there. That's why the arrow is there. So now we're going to take 4 goes into 10 twice. So that's why we have that minus 8 down over there. So we have 10 minus 8 is going to equal 2. So that's why I put the 2 up in the top. And then we have the 2. So now we have to bring in one more 0. So when we bring in the other 0, we're going to go, after we move it up, we're going to bring in that other 0. So 4 goes into 25 times. So that's how you have that area. The next one is going to just be posted up there, and it's just another example. This one's already filled out for you, so I'm not going to go step by step for it. But if you notice, that 0, that point 0, because we had to drop down another one, all we do is just add it and we keep going. So we can go on forever and ever and ever till it stops. So that's how you get that over there. Again, these are kind of, if you can't get it, we'll do some check for understanding activities in class. But basically, we're just adding on zeros. We're moving the decimals straight up and just continuing on like nothing's ever happened. So we have the pause right over here. If you need to pause and go back, pause. If your notes are okay, we'll do some check for understanding activities tomorrow. I can answer some stuff in class. So if you're kind of confused, I'll answer in class. But on to the next part. This again where it gets not necessarily confusing, but I need to show you so you know. Before we're adding on decimals, so we add on a decimal. This one already has a decimal in the problem. So I worked out the problem for you, but we can't forget that little decimal that I circled in red. That little decimal, something needs to happen to it. So all we're going to do again is move it straight up. That's all you do. It's just like we did with the other problem, we just move it straight up. It shouldn't be moved side to side. Later it can be, but right now, if there's a decimal in the problem and there's no decimal outside the house where that little 2 is, don't do anything. Just move it straight up. That's it. So not too complicated. This is a long video, and I know that you guys are paying attention, but here's where you move it over. Outside the house, we have 2/100ths, which is 0.02. So we're going to move that decimal over 2 places outside the house. So if we do something outside the house, we need to do something inside the house. So now since we moved it over to make it 2, we moved over 2 times. We move it over 2 times inside. So now the inside of the house is equal to the outside of the house because we moved them both at the same time, so we're good to go. Now we can solve this problem as normal. So now that we're solving it, I'm going to show you, bam, there it is all solved for you. But that decimal, remember, when we do it our answer, we got to move it straight up. So that decimal, even though we moved it, we still have to do something with it. So it's going to go straight up equal to where it would be under the problem. I know it's kind of confusing. We'll do some check for understanding activities in class tomorrow, so don't worry if you're not getting it. I will help you guys tomorrow. But it's been kind of long. You didn't learn a lot of new information, and if you are struggling with long division, please go back and watch the other long division slide. So if you need to pause and go back, take some notes, here's your chance to pause and go back and take some notes. So if you don't need to pause, keep continuing on to the presentation. It is almost done. Lucky you, go to Edmodo, do the 2 homework questions. I'm not going to require the check for understanding questions that I normally do. So lucky you today. Hooray! Mr. Beuthin's being nice. So please at least do the 2 homework questions. So lucky you, go to Edmodo. Hooray. We're waiting for the next slide, which is recap. So I'll start with the recap right now of what's going on. Your recap. You need to know how to do long division. If you don't know how to do long division, please go watch the old videos. I've said that like 4 or 5 times. There's 2. There's just regular long division, and there's long division with remainders. So the remainders one would probably be better to get that understanding of that there's might be something left over. Next, you know how to, if you have a decimal in the problem, we just move it straight up. If you have a remainder, you have to add on a 0.0 and as many zeros as you need to solve the problem. And last, if we move something outside the box, we need to move some outside the house, we need to move it inside the house. The objective, the student will be able to divide decimals. This will be done through a presentation and classroom activity. So if you guys are getting it, remember the classroom activity tomorrow will help you guys out. So don't worry if it's not clicking necessarily because I will help you during the classroom activity. Have a good day and see you guys later.